Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to Motivation Nation. I'm your host, Air Gordon. Hey, I had to put the thinking cap on for this one. So, this video here is supposed to be a doozy. So, we're about to get right into it. But before we do that, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers. Thanks for the likes, the shares, the follows, the comments, the whole nine. We're growing this all because of you. I really do appreciate it. We're building a community. So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and get into the content. This one is supposed to make us say,
And to the lady that owes $264,000 worth of debt, live your life, girl. Live your life. That debt gonna be here to you, dead and gone, sugar. Live your life. I'm not saying go out there and be irresponsible and get yourself into any more debt. But what I am saying is this: do not deprive yourself of living your life, going places, eating out, vacation, doing this and doing whatever it is that makes you happy to do. Do not deprive yourself just because you're in some sort of debt.
that's exactly what you need to be depriving yourself of because you're in some sort of debt. Listen, I'm going to let her finish, but let's just go ahead and define what we're talking about as far as debt goes, first and foremost. So, you have good debt and you have bad debt. Good debt would be debt that you're purchasing a home and you're gaining equity after purchasing that home. And then one day you pay that home off and then you have equity. So the house is worth more than what you paid for it. Now, the interest rates are generally lower. And of course, we all have our thoughts on interest and all of those things. But unless you can buy a house in cash, we're all subject to having to pay interest. So, yeah, unfortunately, we all have to do that whether you like it or not. That's just the way that it's set up. But then you have bad debt, which is called consumer debt. So that's just the debt from buying up things. And generally, depending on your credit score, your consumer debt interest rates are going to be far higher than they would be for purchasing a home, which then over the amortization, the amount that you're paying towards the principal, the higher your interest rate is, the less of that's going to the actual principal, and the more of that is actually going to the interest, which does not help you pay the stuff off faster. So, if you're speaking of consumer debt, having $200,000 in consumer debt and continuing to live your life, horrible advice. But let's let her finish, and then we'll wrap it up at the end.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to me because I owe $200 something thousand. That 269,000 to be exact, or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. But I say all that to say this: some people, they think like, they getting into all this, that, or whatever, student loans, whatever the case may be, and now it's like, oh, I can't do this, so I shouldn't do this and I shouldn't do that. You should still live your life and do it how you want to do it, because the bills is going to be here no matter what. The debt is going to be here no matter what, even after you're dead and gone. So live your life and do what you need to do that makes you happy or whatever. Don't, deprive yourself just because you got all these bills or whatever. Don't do that. Still be responsible, but don't deprive yourself just because.
You're telling her to do all this. You're telling people to do all this irresponsible stuff, and then say, "Yeah, still be responsible." All right.
Have a lot of that, because I know I'm not. Baby, I'm living my best life. Do you hear me? And is.
You're not.
And is. And
No,
that's
you're
why I
not.
say I suggest you do the same thing. Because that's what I'm talking about, me. Now. Okay? So, I don't know what y'all think. What y'all think? That's just how I feel about it. What y'all think? And to the
So here's the thing, man. Debt is very debilitating. Debt has a major impact on your ability to grow, your impact on your ability to purchase things that you actually need, especially consumer debt with high interest rates. All of what she's saying, student loan debt, that's a different type of debt. So you have to push that to the side. Once someone has student loan debt, you're going to have to pay that back. And generally, the student loan debt is also usually at a lower interest rate than consumer debt. I'm seeing consumer debt rates at between 15 to 30%. So you have to look at whatever your payment is, majority of that is going to be on just flat out the interest. And then they amortize that over almost infinity to make it where you'll pay it off in 20 years if you paid the minimum payment, and that's just not good for you. So if you continue to rack up debt while having debt, you put yourself in a hamster wheel that you'll never be able to get yourself out of. And I know what she's well, Well, I don't know what she said. But what she's saying is it doesn't matter, the bills are gonna be here. Yeah, bills are gonna be here, but bills and being in consumer debt, two completely different things. Having to pay a light bill, a water bill, all of those bills, the necessity bills, yeah, they're gonna be there. But when you're talking about you buy something for $10 with a 20% interest rate, now you're paying back $30, and you do that over and over and over again, you put yourself in a hamster wheel that you'll never ever be able to get out of. And then once you want to go and buy something major like a home or the car of your dreams, you're not going to be able to do it. And if you can do it, then your interest rate's going to be even that much higher because you're on this hamster wheel of debt. And then you constantly live paycheck to paycheck and you're never saving any money and you're never in a position to retire from a job, and you'll always have to work, and you'll always have to work two, three, four, five jobs just to say I went on vacation, just to say I went to eat, just to say I did this. It's better to sacrifice when you're young. It's better to sacrifice when you're early to get yourself out of that debilitating debt. That way you can then in turn save your money, and you can put yourself in a better financial position. But being in the hamster wheel of consumer debt, that's a life sentence that you will not be able to get yourself out of. So, the moral of this story is to have a little bit of financial discipline. It's okay to sacrifice to get yourself out of debt. It's okay to work two or three jobs and put all of that to come out of consumer debt. If you do that and you get rid of that consumer debt, I can guarantee your life will be way better in the long run. But leave your comments. I want to hear what you guys got to say about it. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.